Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Tesla report for Wednesday, July 16th, 2025. Before I talk about this chart, just want to mention that on Tuesday, wickedstocks.com put out a stock pick on SoFi Technologies. You want to check that out. We have a lot to say about that stock. You're probably well aware of it. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. Either way, check it out. We've got another stock pick coming out on Thursday. You can see them both for free by going to wickedstocks.com and taking advantage of our 5-day free trial, in which you'll also receive daily Triple Q and daily SPY analysis and weekly Apple stock analysis, all for free for the next 5 days. Check out wickedstocks.com. So this is a long-term chart for Tesla. A weekly chart goes back over 5.5 years. It does show the significant overhead resistance in the low to mid 350s, which we've tested quite a bit over the last couple of months, can continue to contain buying on a monthly, possibly quarterly basis. And only if we can close above 355.86 in the coming weeks do I see a sign to go long Tesla through the rest of the year. The 518.19 5-year channel top, then anticipated within, this is probably a 6-month move. It could be quicker, could be within 3 to 5 months, but I'd say possibly by the end of the year if we can close over the next few weeks above 355.86. In terms of the downside big picture, I'll jump to that right now with the same exact chart, but I'll be opening it up just a bit, the weekly chart, that if in the coming weeks we close below this recently formed descending channel bottom at 257.96, then we have a 2 to 3 month sell signal into the low to upper 160s. 5-year channel base represents long-term support for Tesla, where we could bottom out through next year, not next week, but next year, and round up nicely in the year or two to follow. This is a 5-year structure that I would expect within 2 to 3 months of closing below 257.96. So if you've got 257.96, I guess we've got the 50s, the 250s support and the 350s resistance. It's about as simple as that if we're looking really into the fourth quarter, through the rest of the year. And inside that, we have these 2 to 3 week signals that can play out. And right now we are in the middle of one, having closed Friday of last week above this 306.61 descending channel top, and the previous day back above this former rising 2/3 speed line. We have reduced 311.07 to just a minor point, and we are now focusing on 306.61, that descending channel top that we settled above several days ago, as well as a rising 2/3 speed line coming off that low from a week and a half ago. This area 304.59 to 306.61 can contain weekly selling pressures. This is still bottom picking territory, and above which, despite yesterday's weakness, this is still a 2 to 3 week bullish, stable to bullish dynamic. Holding above 304.59 to 306.61 will keep the low to mid 350s in reach again over the next 2 to 3 weeks. And on the way up, of course, we have the 323.16 50% upside retracement that is thus far held nicely. And having tested that on Monday, we may be falling back to 306.61 today. 306.61, once again, the beginning of a range down to 304.59 that can absorb selling this week through the week, once tested or above which the low to mid 350s in reach over the next 2 to 3 weeks. On the way up, 323.16 can continue to contain intraday, potentially daily buying pressures. Closing today above 323.16 indicates 334.06. I'm going to say tomorrow. With that kind of volatility, closing today above 323.16 does likely yield 334.06 tomorrow, where we can top out on a daily basis. Tomorrow being Thursday, we just might top out here through the rest of the week and perhaps fall away. And this is why I call the low to mid 350s a 2 to 3 week time frame, because the markets rarely go straight up.
If you're finding value in this analysis, it's only a glimpse of what we offer. Your real trading edge starts at wickedstocks.com. Each week, premium members receive 2 high-probability stock picks. Each one comes with a complete trade plan, including exact entry, profit target, stop loss, and regular updates so you can manage the trade with confidence. You'll also get daily video analysis in the top traded markets, the SPY, the Triple Q, and NVIDIA, highlighting the key price levels, trends, and trade setups we're focused on. Whether you're day trading or swing trading, these insights help you zero in on the highest quality opportunities with clarity. Try it all free for 5 days. Cancel at any time.
There's a lot of give and take on the way up, as I've already described, but closing above 334.06, this formation that I show once again here, we're just 3 to 5 days then from reaching our 2 to 3 week objective in the low to mid 350s, low to mid 350s, able to contain buying through August, possibly into the fourth quarter. From here, we can fall away again. And once again, if it were a settlement above 355.86, everything shifts into the bullish column over the longer term time frame, which is the 3 to 5 month time frame for me, the low 500 region, then in reach by the end of the year. Now, covering the downside, if we happen to, violate, that is to say, close below 304.59 today, then unfortunately, this is just sort of kind of a whipsaw dynamic. The buy signal not holding. A sell signal, though, is that a big picture sell signal? Really, what I want to say is if we close below 304.59, I am comfortable anticipating 284.70 by the end of next week. But in terms of kind of like a swinging for the fences, anticipating this 256.05 channel bottom, you can play that. I think you can prepare for that, but it is a bit stair step. And I say that really because, as you're probably well aware, and I'll take us back to this chart, this settlement below the 2/3 speed line about a week and a half ago obviously didn't play out to the downside. And prior to that, a week earlier, if you recall, we also closed below a meaningful 3-month channel bottom that also didn't play out. So, if we were to close back below the 306.61 level and 304.59, we just have this sort of muddled rejection of 2 to 3 week signals. And so I think you kind of step back and you fall more into the 3 to 5 day camp. Closing below 304.59, I am comfortable anticipating 284.70. If you're a 2 to 3 week swing trader, I see still no good reason to be long this market. If we close today below 304.59, I think you want to play the short side, cover some at 284.70, because that could be all she wrote. As we move through next week, we could round up from this low settlement price through next week, even though I only have it deemed a session containment level, because really, if you're looking at the 2 to 3 week time frame, there is a certain case to be made that if we close below 304.59, we can fall into the mid 250s, where we could bottom out through August and into September. But I say that carefully because of the tendency that is exhibited over the last few weeks for these failed 2 to 3 week signals. So I'll just leave it at that. Once again, though, if we were to close below 256.05, which is the same formation on the weekly chart we find at 257.96, then we are bearish through the rest of the third quarter into the fourth, the following 2 to 3 months, likely to continue unwinding into the 160s. But we're not there yet. That would come with a settlement below 257.96 formation on a weekly basis, which I think you should respect the possibility of testing if we close below 304.59. But, if you want to fall back into more of a 3 to 5 day time frame, I have no problem with that. I think that is the more reliable right now until this all fleshes out. Closing below 304.59, 284.70 is likely. Holding above 304.59 to 306.61, we can over the next 3 to 5 days test 334.06. So you can see these the session containment support, session containment resistance above 306.61, 334.06, likely within 3 to 5 days, below 304.59, 284.70, if that all makes sense. Please click like, share, subscribe, check out wickedstocks.com. Take advantage of that 5-day free trial. You want to see that stock pick, SoFi. We've got another one coming out tomorrow, Thursday. There's also 3 or 4 that are still pending and relevant. You could see it all by going to wickedstocks.com. I think that's all I'm going to say for Wednesday's Tesla report. You have a great day.